I'd read this article and it talked about how they were growing indoors in containers in Brooklyn because they did not have space for gardens.
A lot of my inspiration came from standing in the dry cleaners, picking up clothes one day. I saw our clothes come out on the overhead conveyor and thought, why can't we suspend towers and plants from an overhead conveyor? My name's Bryce. I'm one of the co-founders alongside my wife of Northwest Farms. We're based in Lacey, Washington, and we grow a handful of different leafy greens as well as herbs such as basil. Traditionally, we've always looked at farming and food production as you can grow one plant or two with it per square foot, and it's a single horizontal layer versus what indoor agriculture eventually evolved into. Our entire process starts with a soilless based medium. It's basically 50% peat moss, 50% cocoa coir. We take those pods, run them through a seeding machine, plant the seeds in the pods. Those newly seeded trays, we call them, so it's 162 plants per tray, go into germination chambers for 24 hours. The seed actually cracks within 24 hours. We then move our trays and the seedlings into a propagation room. The plants will sit and propagate for anywhere from 5 days all the way upwards of 9 days. Once the plants and the root structures are mature enough, we plant them into the main system. The plants will sit there and grow from anywhere from 12 days to 15 days. And then the second they're large enough, we roll the towers around to our harvesting section, harvest them, pack them, and ship it.
We don't use chemicals or pesticides or herbicides, and that goes a long ways. We don't have to worry about the wildlife flying through and making, something possibly happen, with E. coli or something like that, which happens with different products and outbreaks. We're just so controlled on the inside.
"10,000 square feet of grow space within our facility equates to approximately 1,500 acres of outdoor production. So in order to irrigate 1,500 acres outdoors, at least according to USDA, it takes 136 million gallons of water. We'll only use just under 2 million gallons of water for the year. We're actually growing product in an ideal environment as well as actually shipping it within 24 to 48 hours to the end destination.
We got introduced to the school districts through the local co-ops, and the local co-ops are huge supporters of local family farms. The relationships with the schools, I think, is really huge and is amazing just because it's more of our product going into the family atmosphere of, the kids, which is what we enjoy.
I was surprised when I started at the school district that we have a salad bar, and I was like, well, that's probably just a lot of food we throw out. But the kids really enjoy eating the fruits and vegetables out of the salad bar. And I have found when we use local produce, fruits and vegetables, that they will gravitate towards those and they'll eat more of it. Having food coming from the local community, you're getting food that is fresher, and you can taste the difference, you can see the difference. Being able to interact with these kids at such a young age and establish healthy eating habits is it's very essential.
I was actually more of a product of SpaghettiOs in a household with a single father who always worked, so my brother and I constantly either made ourselves SpaghettiOs or macaroni. But when we did eat produce, I vividly remember the produce from like the pizza restaurants at the salad bar. And the things I always loved most were being able to add all of the toppings as well as the different dressings. And so for me, whenever I think back to as a kid eating my greens, I would always look forward to kind of that freshness of like a mixed green salad. And so for me, that's why I wake up feeling good about what we're doing, is because I know we're making a positive impact throughout the region.
It's a water wall.
It's a water wall. It's a plant wall too. Whole Foods has been amazing, and that's an understatement. My wife had a friend come in. Her friend asked for a box of samples, didn't really tell us much about it, left that afternoon, And a week later, we ended up having a call with Denise, who is a local forager for the Pacific Northwest. And once Denise came down, toured the facility, ended up, knocking her socks off. She said nothing but great things. And lo and behold, within a number of weeks, we started to get our first POs. We realized that there were other like-minded people in the industry, specifically in this case, Whole Foods.
As a chef, I've always looked for those great ingredients and defining them ultimately by where they come from in their locale. And here in the Pacific Northwest, it's quite easy to be able to get wild foraged foods, seasonal foods, working with farmers. I met Bryce and Andrea about a year ago, and they showed up with this big burlap bag of lettuces and greens and some basil. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go, and let's see what it is. I remember looking at Andrea and saying, so is this arugula gonna taste like this in December? And she smiled and was like, yeah, of course, because we grow it indoors. If I could have perfectly cut baby romaine in gem lettuces and basil that had a longer shelf life and frankly far better flavor than I was getting out of any other purveyor, all of a sudden my eyes just kind of went boink, and I'm like, how do I get more of this? We're in an area that is this hub of technology, and when someone has approached farming and producing lettuces, herbs, greens, and fruit in the way that they have, we want to be behind that and support that.
I look at our regions kind of as microeconomies, where we go and we work, right? We raise families, we go to grocery stores, in this case, Whole Foods, we look for products. And if those products are all just products that are based from or purchased from larger conglomerates, then we're not really putting money back into our local economies. And so in order to become scalable and sustainable as a community, we have to support the local, and we have to support the families who are attempting to grow as much as they can.
As consumers, we have so many different opportunities to source or to buy. And for me, the story is unique. It's the story of embracing change. It's the story of embracing innovation. And when you have that, you're telling your guests that you're one of the leaders in the pack doing this.